Hi children and viewers. In this video I am going to explain one 8 marks question in the chapter of laws of motion. So children, this is a very important question for 8 marks. It was asked so many times in previous examinations in 2017, 2018, 2016 and 2013. So that much of important question. So let's go for it. Children, watch the video up to the last without any skip. Then only my content will reaches you. Okay children, the question is waiting on the board. Let's go for that. Children, the question is here. State Newton's second law of motion, hence derive F is equals to ma from it. State Newton's second law of motion, hence derive F is equals to ma from it. A body is moving along a circular path such that its speed always remains constant. Should there be a force acting on the body? This is the question, children. First, this is the 8 marks question. In that there are two questions are there. Part 1, that is A, question A here it is, that is for 6 marks children. For topmost one it is 6 marks awarded, and in the same question second part it is there, that is B question, that should be given for 2 marks. Here it is 6 marks and this is 2 marks, totally 8 marks children. So this is the question is on the board it is. So children, let's go for that. So children, I think all of you know about the Newton's laws of motion. So in that, especially what you are asking, state Newton's second law of motion. From that Newton's second law of motion, we have to derive the equation F is equals to ma. F is nothing but external force, net force, is equals to m into a, mass into acceleration. We have to derive it. Clear? What is Newton's second law of motion? The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. That should be called Newton's second law of motion. The external force acting on the body, that should be directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, that is known as Newton's second law of motion. Clear? Okay children, F is proportional to dp by dt. dp by dt. This is known as Newton's second law of motion. Here F is the external force or net force, the external force, and here P is the momentum. What's that? Momentum. The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. So that means the change of momentum should be depends upon the amount of external force acting on the body. Here directly proportional. If for example here this is the one object, on that object some force is acting, this is the external force, then obviously that should be coming into the motion. Clear? So already from Newton's first law we can define force. What is the force? The physical quantity which can changes or tries to change the position of the body is called force. The physical quantity which can tries or which can changes position of the body or state of the body, that should be called force. Clear? So here when some force is acting on the body, that should be coming from one state to the another. For example, if it is in the rest position now, when we apply some external force, that should be coming into the motion. That means here when some force is acting on the body, that may causes velocity of the body. Clear? So when the body gains velocity, its momentum changes. First thing you have to know what is momentum. So I think in previous classes you may learn what is the momentum. Here P is equals to mv. P is equals to mv. Here P is the linear momentum. What's that? Linear momentum or momentum. Clear, children? And m is the mass. And v is the velocity. What's that? Velocity. Momentum can be defined as the product of mass of the body and its velocity. The product of mass and velocity of your body is called its momentum. Clear? If any body has mass and certain velocity, then the body can possess momentum. In commonly, what you have to say, the product of mass and velocity is called momentum. Clear, children? Momentum. What is the momentum? Momentum is nothing but product of mass and velocity is called momentum. And children, here you have to write the units of momentum. What is the unit of mass? Kg in SI. What is the velocity unit? Meter per second. Kg meter per second is the unit of momentum in SI system. And now in case of CGS, it is gram centimeter per second. These are the units of momentum. Okay, children. Momentum is the product of mass and velocity, and units are kg meter per second in SI system and gram centimeter per second is in CGS system. So children, from this equation what you have to conclude? Momentum can be depend upon two factors. One is mass, next one is velocity. So momentum can depend upon mass and velocity. That means here we have to remember, for example, this is the one building and this is the another building. Clear? And here on ground some two vehicles are there, same type of vehicles. Two cars are there here. Just imagine. Clear? So we are observing two buildings are there. Just on ground we have two cars of same type of cars. Clear? And one boy is standing on this building and second boy is standing on this building. Clear? Some two heights are there, two buildings are there. On the roof of the buildings, two persons are waiting, and one boy is on one building and next boy is on next building. At the bottom of the buildings, we have some cars are there. Just imagine. And now, for example, this boy is A. I am giving the name like A, boy A, and this fellow is boy B. Clear? Boy A can drops 5 kg of stone, some 5 kg of stone that should be onto the car. Next, boy B can drops the some 20 kg stone onto the next car. Clear? Buildings heights are same, and the bottom we have cars are there, they also same type. But the boys who are standing at different heights or different buildings. One boy is dropping 5 kg stone onto the first car, and next fellow is dropping 20 kg of weight onto the mass onto the second car. Then which case? Which car is going to be more damage? Once both boys can drops the masses respectively, and there is some collision between the stone and cars, then what you observe, the second car is going to be gets more damage. So in this case, what you have to say simply, while they are coming downwards, you have to observe that here both are having different masses. So in this case, both are in motion. When they are in motion, they have some velocity. According to the definition, the body which has some mass and velocity that must be possess some momentum. That's why here 5 kg and 20 kg stones are having different momentums. Different momentas are there. That's why here for the second body 20 kg mass, here mass is more. Then the body which has more mass and that should be in motion, that should be having more momentum. That's why this car is going to be gets more damage. Clear? So here this is the P is equals to mv. That means here momentum, why I am giving this example means momentum can be depends upon the mass. Clear? So for example we are taken a pebble, small pebble, we are taking some small pebble and simply we are keeping on our head. Clear? Then there is no pain. If the same pebble is dropped from certain height onto our head, then we may get some pain. What's the reason? When the pebble is resting on our head, there is less momentum, almost all momentum is zero because there is no velocity. A small pebble I am keeping on my head, or you can keep on your head. That pebble or the small object that should be having some zero velocity, that is resting on your head. If the same pebble is thrown onto our head from certain height or with certain velocity, then we are going to be damaged. So we got some pain because now the body is in motion. When the body is in motion, that should be having some velocity. When there is some velocity, that should gain some momentum. Clear? In this way, the momentum must be affected by the both mass and velocity. Clear, children? So this is simply about the momentum. Now we are going to the same back. So here now, derivation of F is equals to ma. Derivation of F is equals to ma, children. So children, what is the Newton's second law of motion? The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum. That means children, we are writing anything like d by dt of p. D by dt of p. Here the quantity word is momentum. The value of momentum can be changes with respect to the time. Rate of change of momentum. Rate, we are saying rate means what? We are comparing the changes occurred in the physical quantity with respect to of time. D by dt of p means the momentum value is changes with respect to the time. So here now this is the Newton's second law of motion. F is proportional to dp by dt. The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Clear? Directly proportional. When force is more, the change in momentum also more. If the applied force is less, the change in momentum also less. You can take a stone, you can simply throw like this. That will go for small distance. If you can throw with very speed, go for long distance. And if you can, for example, you are just standing on the road, just beside one lorry is stopped beside the road, you can simply stand and take the support of lorry and you can take some selfie. Clear? Then there is no changes in our body. Got my point? There is one road, it is there, beside the road one lorry is stopped. Clear? And simply you went there, the lorry model is new model and you want to take some selfie, just go and stand there. Simply here you are taking the support, just you are taking support of lorry and you are taking the combination of selfie with the lorry. There is no injuries to you, but the same lorry is coming from with some velocity from long distance and you can stand on the road. If it can hits you, hits you, what happened? Just imagine, same lorry, same person. What's the difference? For the first time, the lorry is at rest position. Second time, the lorry is in motion. When the body, every moving body having some momentum, because mass is there, velocity is there. Clear? That's why here what I am saying, while the lorry is at rest position, you are just stand and you can contact with the lorry. Just the lorry is in rest position, then its momentum is 0. When the same lorry is in motion, the momentum is more. Clear? That's why here what I have to say, in this case the force what we are taken, that should be decides the momentum. If the applied force is less, the momentum is less. If the applied force is more, the momentum also more. Okay children. Okay, that is the Newton's second law of motion. The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Clear children? So these two are in equal, these two are in directly proportional. To equate them, we have to use one proportionality constant. So that's why here I am going to use one proportionality constant. F is equals to K into dP by dt. F is equals to K into dP by dt. When they are in this particular relation, to equate them we have to use one constant, that is the K. It is proportionality constant. F is equals to K into dP by dt. So now you can consider it is as the equation number 2 children. Clear? And after that I already told you what is the P, but what is P? P is equals to momentum. What's that? P is equals to momentum. M into V, the product of mass and velocity, what we call momentum. So now you have to substitute this momentum value in equation number 2. Then F is equals to K into d by dt of mv. Just simply we are substituting the value of P in that equation. F is equals to K into d by dt of mv. Okay children, we are differentiating the m and v with respect of t. For example children, there is one ball is there. There is one ball is there. Clear? One ball is thrown by the bowler. Clear? While we are playing the cricket, what you observed, the bowler will throw a ball towards the batsman. Then batsman hits the ball. Clear? What you have to observe, when the ball is there, it is having some mass. Clear? Once the ball is thrown by the bowler, what you have to observe, the ball is coming towards the batsman and the batsman will place the or hits the ball. Then what you have to observe, it will go to the boundary. So, and during this process, the ball velocities are different. So even though batsman hits the ball, its velocity changes, that means its momentum changes. When its momentum changes, but there is no change in its mass, because we will play the cricket match with one ball for a long time, in months. Clear? What it means, there is no change in velocity, there is no change in mass of the body when we apply some force. While a batsman hits the ball, velocity of the ball will changes, due to that momentum changes, but mass is constant. Mass is constant. That's why here we are saying that d by dt of mv, rate of change of momentum. In that you have to observe there is no change in mass of the body while there is some change in momentum. Got my point? In cricket match, while we are playing with a one ball, during that match what you have to observe, the ball is continuously going towards so many places and so many directions with so many velocities, but there is no change in its mass. Like that, here we are saying now F is equals to K into m into d by dt of v. Why? Because here m is constant, mass is constant. Clear children? So here F is equals to K into m into d by dt of v. D by dt of v, rate of change of velocity. So children, already we know that what is that? A is what? Acceleration. According to definition of acceleration, what you have to children? Change in velocity by change in velocity by time. A is equals to change in velocity by time. Here nothing but what is, children? dv by dt. dv means what? Change in velocity. dt means what? Time. F is equals to what, children? Simply have to remember F is equals to k into m into dv by dt. Clear? dv by dt means what? Rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity commonly known as acceleration. That's what, children, here F is equals to k into m into a, because what we know, d by dt of v means what? That is the acceleration. Clear? Now F is equals to kma. Now this is the equation number 3, children. So what we have to derive, F is equals to ma, but it is not. Now what we got? F is equals to kma. So generally so many students will confuse. They will stop their derivation here only. F is equals to kma. Then you can lose the marks. So what you have to derive actually? F is equals to ma. That means now we have to show that k value is equals to 1. When k value is equals to 1, F is equals to ma. So in this equation, if k becomes 1, then F is equals to ma. When the k value is equals to 1, when the k value of equals to 1, let's go for the situation. That is what here. So this is the, children, one horizontal surface. On that one body it is there. On that one body it is there. That should be having some mass 1 kg. What's that? 1 kg of mass is there. Clear? On the horizontal surface, one body is there. What is that? Its mass is what it is? 1 kg. Clear? On that body, we applied some force is 1 Newton. Clear, children? Then, if the body is accelerate with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Here there is one body is there. That should be having some mass 1 kg. On that body, 1 Newton of force is applied. Due to that, the body accelerates with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Clear? For this situation, k value becomes 1. Clear? When 1 Newton amount of force is applied, a body of mass 1 kg, then the body accelerates with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Then the k value becomes 1. Let us check here. Here what is means? Simply here that is F is equals to 1 Newton and m is equals to 1 kg and a is equals to 1 meter per second square. Then what you have did? You have to the same thing. F is equals to kma. Then 1 F means what? 1 Newton. 1 Newton is equals to k into m is what? 1 kg mass. A is what? 1. Then k is equals to 1. Clear? When k is equals to 1, then directly we can write F is equals to 1 into ma. That means F is equals to ma. So this is the derivation of F is equals to ma, children. So for this we have, in examination point of view, 6 marks should be awarded. Clear? For this derivation, 6 marks should be awarded. So let's see here, very important. Look here once again. What is Newton's second law of motion? This for statement 1 mark is the, children. For statement 1 mark it is there. That is statement is what? Newton's second law of motion. The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum. That should be commonly known as Newton's second law of motion. Clear? So according to Newton's second law of motion, we will write F is proportional to dp by dt. This is the equation number 1, children. Here this is the one quantity and this is the another quantity. They are directly proportional. To equate them, we have to use one constant, that is F is equals to k into dp by dt. Equation number 2. And what is P here? Momentum. P is what? Momentum. Already we know that momentum is what? The product of mass and velocity of a body is called momentum. P is equals to mv. Now we have to substitute the P value in equation number 2. Already substituted here. F is equals to K into d by dt of mv, children. Then F is equals to K into m into d by dt of v. That means what? Here, even though the momentum changes, but there is no change in mass of the body. Mass is constant. That's why here F is equals to K into m into d by dt of v. Here dv by dt means what? Rate of change of velocity, what we call acceleration. That's why here F is equals to K into m into dv by dt. Rate of change of velocity, what we call acceleration. Then F is equals to kma. So F is equals to kma. If in that what you have to prove that K is equals to 1. If K is equals to 1, we will get F is equals to ma. If K is equals to 1, we will get F is equals to ma. When the K value equals to 1 means what? When 1 Newton amount of force is applied on the body of mass 1 kg, then the body is accelerates with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Then K value becomes 1. Then F is equals to ma. Okay, children. Now in this case, there is some second part. It is the question. So for that, what you are asking? A body is continuously moving along the circular path with constant speed. So then is there any force acting on the body in that situation? That is the question asked in the second part. So we have to discuss now. What you are saying? You are saying that a body is moving along. A body is moving along the circular path. This is the circular path. Clear? So this is the body having some mass m. Clear? So here what you are saying? Speed is constant. The body is moving with the constant speed. Constant speed. Speed is constant. Already we know that speed is the, what is that? Scalar. For this, no direction. No direction. Clear, children? So while the body is moving along the circular path, then there is any force acting on the body. That is the question asking. So here we have to know that what is the force? F is equals to ma. This is the force we have. F is equals to ma. If there is any force, what you have to prove? There is some acceleration. Clear? F is equals to ma. If there is any force acting on the body means what? Already here mass is there. When the body experiences the acceleration having some mass, then only there is some force acting on the body. So now we have to prove that there is some acceleration. If there is any acceleration, then the force is acting on the body. Got, children? So that's why we can go for that. So children, already we know that when the body is in circular motion, if we can take a point on that circular path, at that point if we can draw one tangent line, that tangent line gives the direction of velocity. If any tangent can be drawn at a point on the circular path while the body is in circular motion, that will give direction of velocity. Clear? Okay, go for that. When the body is at this point, just imagine it is the direction of velocity. And at this point, if you can take, this is the direction of velocity. At this point, this is the direction of velocity. At this point, this is the direction of velocity of the body. Clear, children? So here what we know? Velocity. For example, here speed. What I told you, speed is the scalar. What you are saying? The body is moving with constant speed. For example, we are taking the speed is 30 meter per second. 30 meter per second. The speed is what? 30 meter per second. Here 30 meter per second is the magnitude. What's that? Magnitude. So for speed only magnitude is there, but there is no direction because it is scalar quantity. There is no direction. So but in this case it is having some magnitude is what, 30 meter per second. 30 meter per second. Velocity is the vector quantity. Vector must be have both magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction. So this 30 meter per second is what? Magnitude. Clear? And direction is there. At every point, if you can draw one tangent, the tangent and use the direction of velocity. Direction of velocity. That means here we draw so many tangents, but all tangents are not in the same direction. They are in different directions. Tangents are in different direction means what? Velocity changes. That means direction changes. When direction changes, velocity changes. When velocity changes, acceleration is there. Because what is acceleration? Acceleration is what you write. Acceleration is equals to change in velocity by time. Change in velocity by time. At every position, it is having some magnitude. Speed or it is constant. It is magnitude is what? 30 meter per second. Here also 30 meter per second. Here also 30 meter per second. At every time we have 30 meter per second is there. That's why magnitude is same. Even though magnitude is same, its direction changes. Direction of the body changes. What I told you, vector means magnitude is there, direction is there. When direction changes, that particular quantity also changes. So that's why here, even though the body is moving along the circular path with constant speed, but its direction changes. That's why there is some change in velocity takes place. When change in velocity takes place, if there is any change in velocity with respect of time of your body, that body can experience some acceleration. Clear? That's why here in this case the body has some acceleration. So just now I told you what's the, if any body has mass and acceleration, that should be possess force. Yes, while the body is moving along the circular path, then there is some force acting on the body because the body has mass and acceleration. Mass and acceleration. So how we can say that means like this. Okay children, so this is the first important 8 marks question in this chapter. So that's why you can watch the video thoroughly and you have to make the notes, and we will meet in the next video with some other interesting topic. Bye, take care children.